Hello everyone, it's Daryl and Daniel.
Hey.
And we're here working on the 2004 Pontiac Aztek today.
Again.
Last week while we were doing the fuel pump wiring repair, which is still working good, right?
For now, yeah.
For now, yeah, we're going to replace it with the right fitting eventually. But we noticed that when we jacked the car up, the rear wheel bearing was really bad on it. Look at all the free play in that. And that was certainly very noticeable when you had the wheel mounted in place. So what we did is we jacked it up, removed the wheel and the brake drum assembly, and now we can see this. This is a front wheel drive, so this is just a free spinning mounted on bearing here with 4 bolts that hold it on, and there's actually access holes in the front of the bearing hub so you can get to those 4 bolts to take them off. Is that 13 millimeter?
13 mil.
Alright, so we're using a 13 millimeter socket with a 1/2 inch breaker bar. And once we take those 4 bolts off, we should be able to pound that bearing hub right off of its mounting bracket and replace it. The new one's about $45 at AutoZone. Prices range, I've seen anywhere from $30 online up to about $75 at different auto parts stores. So since Dan works at AutoZone, he's going to go use his AutoZone discount and get the part there. And this will be back in shape in no time. I mean, he's only got maybe 20 minutes into it so far, taking the wheel and the drum off.
The hardest part was getting the drum off.
Because he didn't actually go through the back and adjust the brakes down a little bit. He just like wiggled it and forced it off. And there's a little bit of a ridge inside of it from the brakes wearing into the drum. But it's off and it worked out well, and we're going to have this done in no time. And 2, look at that, just like lightning, zoop, right on out.
As soon as I hammer
all right, all 4 bolts are out. Is it loose enough without the bolts where you can just grab it and pull it out, or you have to tap it out with a hammer?
Probably have to tap it out with a hammer.
Alright, so he's going to get the hammer on top there and like just whack on it from left to right, back and forth, and see if he can get it. And there's really no trick to it. That's just, you know, how you got to do it. So we'll come back and show you when it's done. Alright, a little bit of tapping with the hammer up and down, top to bottom, and we have successfully removed the bearing hub assembly, although we did lose one of the spring caps for the brakes. Well, if we can't find it, he's got to buy a whole new brake hardware kit now. But here you go, so you can see how dry and overheated the bearing is inside, and it is definitely time for a new bearing. Alright, we're unboxing the new bearing hub, and here it is. There's a warning sign on here. It says, when installing this, do not use an impact gun, use a torque wrench. And the bolts on this to hold it in are going to be torqued to 69 foot-pounds.
63.
69 I thought it was, but okay, 63, whatever, pretty close for the rear one, and 96 for the front one if you're doing the front. Studs in it, and it's got the nice cap over the bearing in the back, and it's nice and smooth. Like I say, 4 little bolts hold it in. The only thing we did is on where it fits into the recess on the axle. Dan has cleaned that all out in there, got all the rust and corrosion out of it, and put a little bit of anti-seize on there so that when he puts this in, it won't get seized up in there, hopefully again. And this is going to be an easy job. Just 4 bolts back on, and new brake hardware kit. He bought a new brake hardware kit because he wants to replace these springs and pins on it because they looked really rusty when he took it apart. And that's going to be it for the job, and it's going to be easy. Yep. Tinsel the Christmas cat says hello. Oh, we should call him Tinsel the parrot cat because he's ready to jump into my car off Dan's shoulder.
He always does this.
Yep, he loves people. And anyway, good luck, Dan. We will see you later tonight.